Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to NBA Live 2003. We are midway through the first round of the 2003. This would be 2003 NBA playoffs, even though it's the seeding from the 2002 NBA playoffs to make things more confusing. We're using the Dallas Mavericks today, heading to Minnesota to take on the Timberwolves. If you remember in last week's video, I did change my difficulty to something a little bit higher. Oh, that was man, okay. I went, I think, from like Pro to All-Star or something like that. Not a significant jump in difficulty, but you know, one level. So I don't actually expect to win this game. You always think you might drop one or two games just in any series. It's really not a great playoff if you don't, you know. What's the point of having a 7-game series if you're going to sweep the entire thing? And that's unrealistic. Oh, wow, I've already got 2 fouls with Steve Nash, so that means I should probably sub out Steve Nash. That's a bad way to start the game off. Nick Van Exel in for the Mavs. He actually started a game in the O2 playoffs, if I remember correctly. He started against Sacramento, game 4, 3 maybe? I think it was 4. It was in Dallas, so I believe it was whatever. Unimportant. He did start a game in the 2002 playoffs. By that point, that roster was like... Nash may have been hurt, actually, if I remember correctly. I don't remember everything completely correctly. I was trying to get it into Finley there, but I really didn't. Well, let's take the 3 with the front, see if that works. No. Okay, he wasn't really open. That was a mistake. Oh, come on, get that neck. Alright. It is... we're getting the blocks in this game. The blocks are definitely coming. So we gotta play some defense here. Oh, wow, another block. Alright, 3 seconds left on the shot clock. I skipped that, they're just gonna let it run out. Skip that, that animation there of where Steve Nash will just kind of shake at the camera. Nice. All right. This team, the 03 Mavericks, could have been kind of a team of, I don't know if I'd say a team of destiny. You know, the Mavericks eventually did get a title. They could have probably had a couple more if I actually, you know, if they'd stuck with the cast that they had, if they hadn't traded Steve Nash, or if they had gone for a better center than Eric Dampier after they traded Nash, or after they let Nash go, I guess, to Phoenix. I mean, but Steve Nash and Dirk Nowitzki would have been such a just murderous combo. Nice! Alright. We get the block by Michael Finley. It's 2-on-1. The freestyle control. Oh, Garnett. Damn. Kevin Garnett was kind of quiet in those first 2 games. Well, I mean, I guess it's Dirk Nowitzki's never been the big defensive guy. Yeah, there we go. Get that block right there. That's an easy, because the freestyle controls are a huge, like, completely overpowered aspect of this game. The only thing more overpowered than that is the other thing they added in, I believe, for NBA 2003, or Live 2003 rather, which is the back down move, which, I mean, inspired by Shaquille O'Neal, obviously. We're just going to chuck it, see if we can get it a shot off. Missed it anyway. Missed the layup there. Wouldn't have counted anyway. Regardless, we're down by 1, 8-7. Looking like a college basketball game, but that's just because we're doing 3-minute quarters here, trying to get these games off in a timely manner. They might go to overtime. I've had games go to overtime in NBA Live recently. I'm trying to think of when was the last time I played through a live... I've never played a season of NBA Live. Damn, the goaltending. In fact, I don't think I've ever played a full season of any basketball game, just because I don't have really the time commitment for it that I'm willing to... Oh, wow, right over Garnett. But I don't really have the time commitment that, you know, I used to. And I never really used to even have it either. I never really had the... I've always wanted to play a variety of games. So spending however many, an 82 game season in any NBA game, that being, you know, the modern 2K games or these older live or 2K games, any of those, it just never really interested me. Because it's, I mean, it's really, really tough to get yourself motivated. Like in 2K15, I bought that game at launch, playing it on and off. No, actually, probably the most of any game I play over the past however many months it's been. And I think I only just in 2K15 made it past the All-Star break at this point. Playing it on and off, sure, but not, I mean, it was never my number one game. It was never, well, it was my number one game for a couple of months, and still have not even made it, because if anybody knows NBA 2K15, you know, you play, in my career, you play through, like, the second half of the season, maybe the second, or the fourth, the last quarter of one season of, like, your rookie season, then your second season is your actual, like, your first full season. There we go. That's my pump fake. Damn, there we go. But then when you get to the your first full season is like your second season in the league, you know, you don't get drafted and all that. I like how they do mix that up every year. That's kind of nice. My career in 2K, kind of starting in, oh, I don't know when the my career thing really started. It's the one aspect of 2K that I really play very often, though. I've never been big into the my GM or the association or whatever. It's never been something that's really interested me, is controlling like a whole basketball team. Or I mean controlling a whole basketball team, but I mean like the, you know, the entire organization. Oh. That was never really something I was interested in. You know, I've always been more just interested in the games themselves, not so much, you know, scouting or picking up recruits. I don't think I recruited into a game. There's, oh damn, well I just spun out of bounds, freestyled myself. You know who I think needs to come into the game at the next stoppage to turn this game around? Oh wow, the French just knocked him down with his knee. We need the little general. We need Avery Johnson. Avery Johnson was on the like Jay Leno or something like that after the Spurs won the title. I think I told the story already, but it's just the interviews with not that charismatic athletes are always my favorite talk show interviews. Because like, yeah, we know, yeah, you're Dexter Jackson, you're MVP of the Super Bowl, so you got to do a Letterman cameo. Oh no, go up to Finley. Damn. Okay, well that was just a mistake. Tried to take the charge there with Mike Finley. Nowitzki, who I don't think has made a three this entire game. Oh! Hadn't made a three the entire series, if I remember right. Now getting the chance at the 4-point play, and we drain it. There we go. All right. So that is a good way to start, well, to end off the first half. I know we're trailing. But to go from trailing by 8 to trailing by 4 is a big deal. In my mind, at least. Johnson will still be in the game starting the second half, I guess. I'm going to put Nash in. Just because I got 2 fouls immediately was the reason I took him out. So the next foul, I'll put Steve in. Steve Nash in. Having a great player in the NBA named Steve is kind of difficult to deal with. Steve just isn't the name that you think of when you think, like... Michael Finley with 5 blocks, by the way. Steve just isn't the name when you think greatness. You don't think, like, Steve. Let's look down through these Mavericks. I don't remember who Newman is. Griffin... Sean Bradley, of course, the center. I could put him in. He's a good shot blocker. Gigi Wang is the most important player on this team. Gigi Wang was the first Chinese-born National Basketball Association player before Yi Jianyan, or oh God, I don't remember how to pronounce his last name. I'm terribly sorry about that. And Yao Ming, of course, being the other two. The other Yi and Yao both kind of made it. I mean, Yao significantly. He was one of the better, easily top 5 centers of the past 15 years. Of that, especially that decade. Oh, wow, Avery with 2 steals. I don't know what happened there. Yao was one of the best players of that. And I know it's like, not a lot of people talk about him because he didn't win a championship with any team. The best team he probably played on was the 2000 and... Can I not sub after my my own shot is made? But anyway, the best team he played on, I think, was the '08 Rockets. That was like a Tracy McGrady team, effectively. It was really Tracy McGrady's best team, and he was never really the best player on his best teams, which I think was probably something that kind of hurt him, was a detriment. Not that he wasn't good, though. That's just he got stuck with Tracy McGrady for a lot of his career, and getting stuck, you know, quote unquote, with Tracy McGrady is not a bad thing, unless you're talking about being the best player on your team, because he was kind of low key. Like, he wasn't the he wasn't the Kobe or the even like a a LeBron presence, even an Allen Iverson presence maybe, but he was always one of the best players, Tracy McGrady. There we go. Okay, now we can take Steve Nash, put him in Avery Johnson's position, and resume the game. And we're winning. Wow, we've stopped him for the most part here in the second half. I don't know why the crowds here at this virtual, I don't know what this arena is even named, so that's something I might want to figure out. Oh, okay. Nasher's just going to miss an open jump shot. Right next to the hoop, too. That's unfortunate. Nesterovic. I figured out how to say his name. Nesterovic. That's his actual name. I heard somebody who would know how to say it recently, looking up... Oh, that felt like a good idea when I did that. Shaking out Wally Zerbiak and taking the 3. And, you know, it pays off. Yes, his name is, I don't know his first name. His last name is Nesterovic, though. That's how you pronounce it. I was pronouncing it like American phonetically. I remember I never knew how to pronounce Wally Zerbiak's last name. I pronounced it like Skazurziback or something. Surzibak. Oh, shit. Alright, how are we gonna... We'll just go half court here. So this third quarter has been an undeniable success. Why did that happen? He was open under the basket. Why did... What? Okay. Why is Kevin Garnett taking a 3? It's not a shot. Number 2, why did we foul him? I know he's not... Kevin Garnett was never a great free throw shooter. Garnett's another one of those guys that kind of goes underappreciated from that era. Him and Paul Pierce, both teammates. Only one title, which I still don't think only one should ever be a significant measure of anything. Just because it is difficult to win any championships. Only winning one is like... Especially for a great player, because there are so many years you don't know that they get stuck on a crappy team, and then what happens to him. Oh, Steve Nash with his first 2 points of the game. Who's been scoring all the points for us then? Is it Nowitzki? I'll allow the tenor of my voice to come down there. Is it Nowitzki? I have a dry throat. Forgive me. Sterovic. Oh, blocked. I'll just take a giant 3 with Finley. That'll go off the top of the backboard. And we're up by 3 at the end of the fourth. So we go from down 4 to up 3. Or at the end of the third, rather. End of the fourth would be the end of the game. The fourth quarter, that is how it goes. I think for next week's episode, I'm going to do something different than like the typical 5 topics, even though I don't have any for this one. I think I'm going to do like my favorite sports movies or something like that. That'll be neat. Favorite 30 for 30s. I can talk on that for hours if you wanted me to. What my favorite 30s for 30s are, and I would never be able to come down to it because they're all good except for the one about Tim Richmond. That's good anyway. I mean, that's just not as good as the rest of them. Was my problem. I was like, I want to hear about this other guy. Because you hear about athletes with AIDS, a popular topic of conversation generally, and cross them out. Zerbiak, dunk on Nesterovic. I just figured out how to say his name. Let's do it right, Joe. To get on the everyday, ordinary topic of the media coverage of athletes who have diseases such as AIDS, you never really hear about Tim Richmond. Maybe it's because he was a NASCAR driver who was good for... Wow, is that a 10 blocks for Mike Finley? I gotta check those stats, actually. Finley... The block total, I think it's at least 8. Yeah, that's 8 blocks for Michael Finley. Having a Jeff Withey in 2013-esque performance. Now, that was a mistake because... that could have been so much more. That could have been like an easy scoring opportunity. That was a bad choice. I tried to pump fake there and actually shot the ball. Alright, so what's the score? I would like to see that box. I know how many points Wally Zerbiak has scored. We're only up by 1. Oh, faking him out at half court. Shooting the 3 with Nash, and he gets fouled by Wally Zerbiak, baby. Steve Nash going to the line. I don't think he's had a field goal this whole game. And he'll miss that one because I'm bad at this free throw shooting mechanic. This is actually, you know, I take back what I just said. This is the best way to shoot free throws in any game, in my opinion. Outside of in 2K15, where there's just a meter at the bottom, and if you fill it up, like, close, you're like, oh, I think I'm going to make it this time. In this one, though, you know, you were shooting it, just get it in the middle, and that represented the hoop, and then if it made it over the middle, you got it. You were good. Well, these guys are just choking. And, okay, we'll miss that. Najera on Garnett here. Okay, that was a mistake. I think what I tried to do there was just get into the lane and take that. Alright, so this one's going to be hard. We do want to sweep, I guess, but how, you know, how are we going to do it? We got to make sure that we get these, and then we make some shots here. Down the line. Can I do like a pick and roll? No. There we go. Pick. Oh, wide open in the corner was somebody, and I did not give it to him, but LaFrance makes a shot anyway, whatever. I think that was Najera. Najera open in the corner. I've heard all 3 of those pronunciations of his name, by the way. That was a mistake. It was just a foul, thankfully. It wasn't, you know, free throws, but... Garnett with 3. Come on. That didn't happen. That's not a thing that, like, people were like, oh, look out for KG, he's a 3-point threat. Nowitzki, maybe. Oh! Oh! Ooh! Oh, no! Oh! Oh! The pump fake gets 2 guys at once. The Red Sea's open for Dirk Nowitzki for the jam. Effectively, and then the steal. I don't know what I did that for. I wanted to go for the alley-oop there to Najera, but I figured out he can't dunk, so that was a mistake. Finley with the free throws to theoretically ice the game. Granted, we don't know that it'll be icing the game. They could get a ridiculous 3 from KG. So if this works, we'll be on to Sacktown next week. As I talk about my favorite 30 for 30s. Next week is also what's happening immediately after I finish this because I won't be here in physicality next week, so I'm just going to record episodes a week in advance. That's some movie magic right there. So we sweep the Minnesota Timberwolves. It got intense there near the end, but Dirk Nowitzki just fooled him. Just got him. Rest in peace. Player of the game, that better be Dirk. There we go. 16 points. 7 of 8 from the field goal. Fourth quarter, 2 points, but they were the most important 2 points of my entire life. Thank you for watching. Thus ends this episode. I will see you tomorrow in Madden 03.